More than one-third of U.S. volcanoes are under-monitored. Congress has noticed Washington of the United States' 161 active volcanoes, 57 are under-monitored, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, creating blind spots that pose a huge potential threat to public safety. In 2009, Washington allocated funds to improve the monitoring systems, but the money quickly ran out, and recent spending initiatives never went anywhere. Dr. Seth Moran is the lead scientist at the Cascades Volcano Observatory, which monitors volcanic activity in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. A properly monitored volcano has between 12 and 20 scientific instruments on the ground, Moran said. But Glacier Peak, there are 28 under-monitored volcanoes in Alaska, 7 in California and 5 in Washington state. In the United States, overhauling the current volcano monitoring infrastructure will require at least $50 million from the federal government and could take a decade to implement, according to Dr. Charles Mandeville, coordinator of the Volcano Hazards Program at the U.S. Geological Survey. Congress recently took its first step toward addressing the problem. Last month, there are currently 5 volcano observatories across the country that are responsible for monitoring and warning the public about volcanic activity: the Alaska Volcano Observatory, California Volcano Observatory, Cascades Volcano Observatory, Hawaiian Volcano Observatory and Yellowstone Volcano Observatory. The observatories lack the funding necessary to properly monitor each volcano and watch incoming data around the clock, according to Moran. The National Volcano Early Warning and Monitoring System would modernize and standardize the tools at all of the observatories. It also would enhance the National Volcano Warning and Monitoring System. Also creates a federal advisory board and a research grant program for volcano science. The U.S. Geological Survey first proposed the system in 2005. Since then, last year, similar legislation supported by Ken Buell and Senators Lisa Murkowski. On Tuesday, President Donald Trump signed the Public Lands Bill, which passed in both chambers in February. In the past decade, scientists have developed the technology to not only detect eruptions, but also forecast them. Volcanoes, extremely sensitive seismometers can record minor earthquakes that increase in frequency before an eruption, and drones carrying sensors can measure changes in gas emissions from the volcano. If volcanoes are equipped with this technology, then scientists can identify the warning signs of an eruption sooner, which gives emergency responders more time. Mandeville explained that the Mount Kilauea eruption with the Public Lands Measure signed into law, the U.S. Geological Survey will create a plan to implement the newly authorized National Volcano Warning and Monitoring System. The next step will, Murkowski, who chairs the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee, said that shall work to get full and lasting funding for the National Volcano Warning and Monitoring System, which she has championed for years. Visit the McClatchy Washington Bureau at search for location/city.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.